What if I told you that it's not too late for you? Are you standing at the edge of a next life chapter, of a new life chapter, but it seems so hard? It seems too big. It seems impossible. Well, listen, what I want you to consider is your belief. I want to encourage you to believe again and understand that every transformation begins with the belief that it is possible for you. Welcome back to another episode of Rollerset to Mindset. I'm Angela. I am your go-to guide when 50 has knocked on your door and the question keeping you up at night is it too late for me? What is next for me? Well, that's what we're going to dive into on this episode. So what I want you to do is grab paper, grab pen, and let's get to work. So this is where we are going to begin because I know there are a lot of you out there. You are feeling like giving up because it looks like the change that you are looking for, the change that you've been praying for or working towards, it just seems like it's impossible. I get that. And I know that some of you have lost hope. So this is what I want you to ask yourself. I want you to consider in the past when you've tried to create something, you had something impossible, something like a stronghold on you. You felt like there was no way in, there was no way out, and you were stuck. You're stuck at a limbo. But here's the thing, when you think about your past and things that were hard, what made it possible? What made you reach over into the possible? It was your perseverance. You learned how to persevere. And this is what I want to put to you. Understand that nothing is going to be easy. Things are always going to be hard. Transformation is always going to be hard. But it is the hard part. It is the hard that you have to push through. You persevere. And guess what comes out of that? Possible. Easy doesn't make it possible. It is the hard that you have to rewire your mind and see that it is possible. And part of what helps me to persevere is the I was studying the other morning, and I was in the book of Jeremiah. And it was Jeremiah 32:27. I wrote it down. And it reads, "Behold, I am the Lord, the God of all flesh. Is there anything too hard for me?" Now, what I want you to do is apply that to your own life. Apply that to your own situation. Apply that to the next chapter that you are trying to create in your life. And this is what I want you to think about. What does that scripture, what does that verse implies about you? What does it imply about you? Well, that let me know that anything I put my mind to, I can create because I was made in the image and the likeness, and I am a creator. So that lets me know that anything that I can drum up in my imagination, it could happen for me. But it just doesn't happen from just thinking about it. No, 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 no. There's certain factors that we have to bring into play. Factors like belief, factors like perseverance, factors like taking action on a thing. You just don't create from thinking. You create from believing, and then you apply action to that belief, and you have to rework that plan. You have to put in some strategy, and the next thing you know, you got what you want. That's how it works. So think about some of the desires that you have. Maybe it's a business you want to start, at the ripe age of 50. Right? The tenacity of you. That's right. At the ripe age of 50, you want to start a business. Or maybe it's something of a conversation that you are avoiding to have in fear of whatever the outcome may be. You got to have that conversation in order to move forward. You got to have that conversation and you got to go deep. You got to slice that thing up so that you can come to the other side renewed, refreshed, feeling powerful. Or maybe it's even like some of you got a book in you. You know, some of you have a book in you. You got to apply the same thing. If you want to write a book, you've got to start. You've got to believe. You got to rewrite. You got to go to ChatGPT if you have to. You got to take action. And then you got to work that plan. You got to work that strategy. And then you come out on the other side. It could be a class that you want to take. It could be a lifelong dream that you have had. Baby, I'm here to tell you, you can make it happen. Now, here's the thing. You got to take action, y'all. I can speak on that because for a long time, I had what I wanted to do in my head. I replayed that thing. I researched that thing. I took all the classes. I took all the workshops, the whole nine. But guess what I did not do? Let me hear it. Put it in the comment if you know what I did not do. I did not take action. And as a result of me not taking action, nothing happened. Because here's the thing, I can't drive a parked car. And I especially can't drive a parked car if I don't even have the keys. And that's what I'm asking you. You want to drive, you want to get from point A to point B, but you're not willing to crank the car up. We got to crank it up so that we can successfully reach our destination. Not without some struggle now, not without growth, but in the same time, we can still successfully reach that destination. So there are three things that I want you to know about that you can use when you feel like this just ain't working. I may as well stay where I am or go back to where I was. I want to remind you that the conversations that we are having, it does not have to stop when the episode is over. I offer private coaching for women who are ready to step into their next life chapter with clarity, courage, confidence, and bliss. So if you're feeling stuck or you know there's more for you, but you just don't see a path forward, you don't see a path forward yet, let's work together and allow me to help create it for you. Click the link in the description if you're watching via YouTube or if you're listening on your listening device. Check out the show notes and schedule your session today because your next chapter isn't waiting and neither should you. Now, let's get back to the episode. First of all, you have to have resilience. Remember this about resilience. Resilience is not learned. Resilience comes from deep within you. Resilience is resilience is remembering what you already been through. See, you already learned the thing. When it comes to exercising your resilience, all you got to do is go back and remember how far you've come. All you got to do is go back and remember how you met the challenge in the past. Because resilience comes from something that you've already done. Okay? All I'm asking you to do is remember the time. Remember the time that you brought yourself through. Remember that. That keeps you in action. That keeps you in motion. That keeps you believing. Activating your resilience from the past. And the second thing you have to do, y'all, is apply your belief. Just don't sit in believing a thing. You've got to apply it. You've got to first acknowledge where you stop believing. Where did the disappointment happen? When did it happen? When did you stop believing? And then sit with that. Sit with that. Once you recognize where you stop believing, then you want to reignite your belief and your faith. And you do that by remembering your why. Why do you want to create a next life chapter? Why do you want to write that book? Why do you want to start that podcast? Why do you want to start that business? Reignite your why. Reconnect with your why. Because what that's going to do is that's going to grow your faith, y'all. It's going to grow your faith. And then it's going to cause you to pray about the thing. Because without prayer, honey, ooh, when it gets hard, the tough keeps going. And you got to ask yourself, what is going to help me keep going? You've got to connect with that higher power within you, because you want to pray. And then what prayer is going to cause you to do is going to cause you to move. You're not going to stand still. You can't sit once you pray and the Spirit start to move in you. You're going to move after prayer. And then when you see the light, a glimmer of light at the end of that tunnel, then you begin to see what's really possible. And then you begin to ask for more. You begin to ask for direction. You begin to ask for clarity. And guess what? When you get that clarity, then you take action. And then that cycle repeats itself. It's not hard. Sometimes we go to work to make it hard. It's not that hard. You pray, you move on that prayer, you build your belief, you ask God again for more direction, and then you take action on His direction, and then you repeat that process all over again. So I have an affirmation for you, and this is what I want you to affirm. Every time you feel discouraged, every time you feel like, oh, this is too hard, every time you question, oh my God, why am I doing this? This is what I want you to remember. This is what I want you to affirm. And this is it. I am becoming the woman who no longer doubts her capacity. Nothing is too hard for me when I move with God, when I move with my Creator. Because when you move with God, you move with everything God is. And you cannot lose with the stuff that God used. You just can't. You can't lose. You cannot lose with the stuff that God uses. And understand, check it out. Now, I said I am becoming, because when you use the word becoming, that is truth. That is a verb. That means it's a constant. It's a constant. It's not stalled. It's not stuck. It's not fear. There's no fear in becoming. There's fear in becoming, but you move anyway. You move with the fear. You move with the discomfort. And so you're teaching your brain to believe and act on what you are feeding it. Okay? I am becoming the woman who no longer doubts, because doubt will make you turn around. Doubt is filled with fear, and that's what you're not filled with. You are not filled with fear. You are filled with courage. You are filled with clarity. You are filled with confidence, and you do it blissfully. You do it happy. You do it with alignment, and you do it with joy. Okay? So I am becoming the woman who no longer doubts her capacity. Nothing is too hard for me when I move with God. And that's what I got for you. So in closing, as you go through your week, as you go through this week, I want you to remember that you are not behind. You are not too late. You are not too old. You are right. You're ripe for the picking. You are right on time. And remember, what feels hard right now is tomorrow's possible. Not easy, but possible. And what I want you to remember is this: that transformation is an inside job, and we all need help with our transformation. We all need women rallying around us, a community rallying around us during the times that we think, I can't go no further. And I'll leave some links in the description to help you with that. Feast on it. I'll see you next week. Okay? Bye. Mwah.